So for today's What Wednesday question, we're going to talk about what are some things nobody told you before you started RVing full time.
What?
So like a lot of you, we really did try to research this before we went on the road. We watched a ton of videos, which is part of why we're on here doing this. These are some of the things that stood out to us that we wish we'd known before we started RVing full time. The first one would be decisions. All these, we kind of knew they were there. We knew there'd be some decisions, but I don't think we really factored in how many there would be on a daily basis. Compared especially to living in a house, we just weren't braced for that. And so there's some days you just wake up and you don't know why you're so worn out, but it's because of all the decisions you made.
I mean, you have to remember that when you're living in a house, you know where you're gonna sleep, you know how long you're gonna stay there. All those things are different in RV. It's like, okay, where are we gonna camp? How long are we gonna stay there? And all those play big factors on where you're going next. And so all your decisions are kind of dependent on other decisions too. So it's like extra decisions.
Yeah. And like, not that I didn't pay attention to the weather at all when I was in a house, but when you're in an RV, you're really paying attention to the weather because it can impact your driving, it can impact where you're staying, especially if you don't have hookups. Plan on staying 2-3 weeks somewhere and it's freezing cold. I mean, not a great decision with a toddler. She will, for us, I mean, she goes kind of stir crazy. So we got to really watch the weather and factor all that into decisions too.
And second, it can get lonely at times. And I guess that's something that a lot of people don't talk about. And maybe people don't feel that like I feel that. I know I'm a little different than Nathan. Relationships are, super important to me. And it's hard being away from those people when you're on the road. It just takes some extra attention to those relationships that you're kind of leaving for months at a time sometimes. So you kind of have to be the one to initiate. And even with my own mom, she'll say, you have to call me. I never know what you're doing. I think people assume like you're just out like rock climbing all the time or something, and they
no cell signal
and they can't call you. And I'm like, well, if you call me, I'll see it and I can call you back. So I don't know. I guess people just assume when you're traveling that they're always interrupting, and that's not the case. And so I feel like you're the one who has to kind of initiate those relationships. Everywhere you go, you're somewhere new, so you don't have those common friendships and relationships that are just easy and that you can fall back on. Like we have to create new relationships on the road so that we get that interaction, and that's something that has been very difficult but rewarding at the same time. I feel like it's really pushed us out of our box and helped us grow as people.
Another thing that we didn't really think about, this has been an advantage, something I didn't see as an advantage, is life slows down. We do have hectic days and we have slow days, but in general, we don't wake up to an alarm clock. We don't have to be that many places at a certain exact time. When we do, it's chaos because we're like, oh my goodness, we got to get there by this time or it's going to be closed or whatever. I mean, we definitely have to be some places like that, but for the most part, it's nothing like having to be at work at a certain time every day and there's not nearly as many deadlines or exact times we have to be places. And that's been nice. That's been a real benefit of life. I think it's helped us grow closer and focus more on relationships than just speeding around in the rat race of life. I've even caught myself like driving. I mean, not that I'm like a road rage kind of driver, but I've always driven pretty fast because I'm trying to get to point A to point B as efficiently as I can so that I can, start my task of where I've got to be at a certain time. But now, I mean, especially with the RV, I actually find myself driving under the speed limit. I'm that guy now. I'm the guy that people are like, why is he not even going the speed limit? Well, because I'm saving 20 to 30% on my gas by going slower, and we're not in a hurry to get there. We want to check out what we're seeing along the way.
You remind me of my mom. My mom always told me, it's the speed limit. It doesn't mean we have to go that. But she always told me.
Well, it's when I'm in the Subaru, it's not quite as extreme. But when I'm driving the RV, I'm like, look, I got this giant RV. I'm going to save fuel. I'm going to get us there safely. And we're going to enjoy the view out of our giant windshield. If the guy behind me who has road rage doesn't like it, he can just, speed around me when he gets a chance.
And next, stuff breaks. And we knew that going into this. It's part of RVing. But I just don't think we realized how much things were going to break, how often. and truly how inconvenient it is when things break and it's your house and it's on wheels and you have to find somebody either on the road to fix that, or we've had to give up our house to have just getting our brakes repaired. I mean, we had to leave our house with them and we had to stay with somebody else while it was getting repaired.
Yeah, because if you're in a house, glass window or something cracks or breaks, and somebody needs to come repair it, I mean, it's cool. You just sit around and watch TV till they show up. Done deal. But the glass for the RV, it doesn't work like that. There's nobody mobile in the area we're in. We're gonna have to drive our RV somewhere, drop it off. I mean, it's a huge hassle to basically give up your house for these repairs. I think the inconvenience, stuff is broken a little bit more than I thought, and it's cost a little bit more than I thought, but the big gap, it's been way more inconvenient than we thought. We did not expect it to be such a pain.
And I think last would be, you can watch and learn from so many different people when it comes to RVing, like we had done, and we watched it and we wanted this lifestyle so bad. But I just don't think there's any way to put into words how completely amazing this lifestyle truly is. And I think that was a big surprise to us. And there's just no way to even explain it, how much you'll get out of this lifestyle. Just even as as a marriage, I feel like our marriage has gotten closer. We're a team. We make decisions all day, every day together. We parent together. I feel like that's really strengthened our bond, not only as a couple, but as a family. And I can't even explain how amazing this has been for us.
We didn't know how long we were going to do this. Because it's had such an impact, we don't know how long we're going to be doing this.
We just know we love it, and we don't want to make a change anytime soon.
Those are 5 things nobody told us before we started RVing full time. If maybe you got some things that you wish somebody told you, if you're RVing, you want to leave that in the comments, or if you got other questions, just let us know.